important group of patients from our but a more important group of patients from our perspective would be those with SIVA scores between 9 to 15, which means those who are in the moderate level of severity of alcohol withdrawals. These are the patients who would require supportive care and, most importantly, benzodiazepine prescription for management of their withdrawal symptoms. Along with this, they will definitely require vitamin supplements. They may also require other medications. They will need non pharmacological interventions, planning of follow up visits, and planning of long term treatment. In terms of supportive care, which almost all patients with alcohol withdrawals would need, they require a monitoring of their vital signs and symptoms of withdrawal, a general nursing care, reassurance, reality orientation, which means they need to be oriented to what is the time of the day, what is the day of the week, so that there is a general level of stimulus around them. They also require maintenance of their fluid balance. If there are some suspected electrolyte deficiencies, they may require correction of that, and their nutritional needs to be attended to. But if someone asks what is the most important feature of treatment of alcohol withdrawals, the answer would be treatment with benzodiazepine group of medications. These are the crucial group of medications which will be required for most of the patients suffering from alcohol withdrawal. Now, there are different kinds of regimen available for treating alcohol withdrawal. We will be discussing here what is known as the fixed dose regimen. In the fixed dose regimen, a fixed daily dose of benzodiazepines is administered to patients in 4 to 6 divided doses per day. The dose required is approximately 2 milligram of diazepam equivalents for every standard drink that patients consume. Again, this is a broad guideline and we will go into more specific dosing issues in the subsequent slides. During the benzodiazepine assisted withdrawal treatment, the withdrawal symptoms need to be monitored using SIVA. The benzodiazepine treatment is never started if the blood alcohol concentration is high or still rising. In other words, this treatment is indicated only for those who have stopped drinking and currently exhibiting frank symptoms of alcohol withdrawal, which means there is at least a gap of 24 to 48 hours after the last drink. So, as discussed earlier, benzodiazepines are the pharmacological treatment of choice for alcohol withdrawal. Why? Because they are very safe compared to many other medicines. They also exhibit a remarkable degree of cross tolerance with alcohol, because benzodiazepines are also brain depressants, so they also have effects similar to alcohol, and hence they will be able to relieve almost all the withdrawal symptoms of alcohol, including preventing seizures as well as delirium tremens. Now, which benzodiazepine to be chosen? It's important to remember that almost all short and long acting benzodiazepines are more or less equally effective in management of simple or mild alcohol withdrawal. The choice of medication is actually guided by their duration of action, the cost, the availability, the potential for misuse or dependence, or so on. So, while almost all benzodiazepines can be effective in management of alcohol withdrawal, in routine or common clinical practice, it is recommended to use medicines like diazepam, chlordiazepoxide, or lorazepam. We will describe the examples of diazepam and lorazepam here because they are the most commonly used benzodiazepines for the purpose of treatment of alcohol withdrawal. The equipotent dose of diazepam is 10 mg while lorazepam is 1 mg. So, in other words, 1 mg is lorazepam is approximately equal to 10 mg of diazepam. The half-life of diazepam, as we can see here, is fairly long, and in combination with its metabolites, the duration of action actually becomes fairly long, making it a very safe choice for management of alcohol withdrawal. The accretion of diazepam typically occurs by hepatic as well as urinary route, and hence diazepam is a preferred option because of its longer action as well as lower abuse potential. But as we can see here, since diazepam is metabolized by hepatic route, in many patients of alcohol dependence, when there is suspected liver dysfunction, diazepam may not be a very good choice. So in cases of alcohol dependence where we suspect liver damage, lorazepam is a more preferred option. The difference is lorazepam is not metabolized by liver, but the half-life or duration of action of lorazepam is slightly lesser than that of diazepam, and hence more frequent intake of lorazepam is recommended. So, for a typical case of moderate alcohol dependence, this is how a typical prescription of diazepam or lorazepam with fixed dose regimen will look like. On the first day, patients would require between 10 to 20 milligram orally diazepam, which is to be administered 6 hourly, which means 3 to 4 times a day, along with thiamine 100 to 300 milligram IV. So what need to be remembered in the chart presented here is from day 1 to 6, we can choose either of the 3 benzodiazepines, diazepam, chlordiazepoxide or lorazepam in the doses which are shown here. Along with one of these 3 benzodiazepines, all patients will certainly require thiamine, which is there in the 4th column. So as we can see here, from 1st to 4th day, the dose of diazepam will keep on decreasing and will then go on decreasing further, and by 6th day, most patients will not require any dose of benzodiazepines. While thiamine would be required by intramuscular or intravenous route for first 4 to 5 days, and subsequently patients can be shifted to oral dose of thiamine. The optional doses of benzodiazepines are to be added when the SIVA score goes up. However, benzodiazepines are themselves brain depressants, potentially addictive, may have some side effects, and hence all patients should be warned about potential risks while they are on benzodiazepines. This is doubly important in those cases which are being treated for alcohol withdrawal in the outpatient settings, which means these are the patients who will receive benzodiazepine prescriptions and take these medicines at their home. They should remain concerned about and be warned about side effects such as unsteadiness and possible falls which may occur under benzodiazepine effects. They should avoid driving while taking these medicines. If they feel excessive sedation or drowsiness, they should withhold taking the next dose. Many patients may actually resume drinking while on this treatment. So in case they restart drinking, they should stop taking benzodiazepines, otherwise there will be added effect of alcohol and benzodiazepines. And they should also be warned that these are intended for short-term use only, not more than 5 to 10 days. So these medications have to be taken strictly by doctor's prescription, because a longer duration of intake may lead to dependence on these medicines. All patients of alcohol withdrawal, irrespective of whether they are complying with the benzodiazepine treatment or not, must get a prescription of vitamin supplements. It is important to remember here is, if patients have resumed drinking or they have relapsed to drinking even in between treatment, while their benzodiazepines are stopped, the vitamin supplements must continue. Typically, we advise taking parenteral thiamine by injecting intramuscular or IV route, which is an adjunctive treatment for preventing Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome as well as other vitamin deficiency related neuropsychiatric conditions, which are very commonly seen in patients with alcohol dependence. The dose is 100 to 300 milligram of intramuscular or intravenous thiamine for 3 to 5 days, and thereafter patients can be shifted to oral intake. If a patient requires intravenous glucose or dextrose solution, the thiamine dose should always be administered beforehand. Most